not a separate thing. So I also sent you another text this afternoon. That's your food. So let's start with that because this is kind of a stupid form. I won't say stupid form. So your sensitivities are not super a lot. I have patients that'll have 30, 40 things. On the +2, they'll have 2 rows of things. They'll have a whole bunch of ones as well. And remember, like I told you, I want you immediately to work on the 2s, 3s, and 4s. After we work on those 2s, 3s, and 4s, and you're able to still figure out a diet and a meal and eat, then I want you to take the 1s out as well because you're still having sensitivity, okay? This food plan that they put, your personalized meal plan, my beef with this is there's no beef. It's not protein focused. And I'm very, very heavy protein, moderate carb, moderate fat. And so this doesn't give you enough protein, in my opinion. But what this does, if you're struggling, oh my God, I have so many 2s, 3s, and 4s, I don't know what to eat. This will at least give you some options of things that aren't any of yours 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s to kind of put some ideas in your brain. Make sense? That's all that is. Oh, absolutely. This is horrible. So that's all this is just, hey, you don't know what to eat. These are things that aren't on your void plan, okay? So now let me pull up your 176. So this is the food sensitivity test. Remember, the beautiful thing with this isn't like a traditional, again, you said that in the past you had a food sensitivity test. It was probably an IgG test, immediate reaction. You eat a strawberry, you immediately react. With this test, it's not only an IgG, but this does the CD4 complement pathway delayed sensitivity, where you eat a strawberry today and in 2 to 3 days you have a reactivity. So where this messes people up is you have a strawberry today and in 3 days you have pizza and you have sensitivity. You think it's the pizza. It might be the pizza, but it still might be the strawberry from 3 freaking days ago. That's the difference, okay? So to all that, so the way this is formatted, there's a first page, a second page, and a third page. The first page is more of just highlight, quick hitter. They pulled out your 2s, 3s, and 4s. So your 4s, and again, most reactive, 3 is next most reactive, 2 is a little bit under the 3, obviously. So your hot hitters, egg yolk, egg white, macadamia nut, and lobster. So all the 2s, 3s, and 4s, I want you to pull out of your system for 60 to 90 days. After 60 to 90 days, we can try to bring these back in. So, for example, I had one of my patients recently. She was having these whelps, like crazy whelps, eyes like whelps, like looked like poison ivy whelps, huge. And I'm like, that's weird. We put her on a steroid pack. She was still getting periodically. I'm like, please do my food sensitivity test. She did it. Had crazy amounts of food, but beef and chicken were on her hot list. There were 3s. I believe they were all 3s. So she's like, she's been 90 days, hasn't had a whelp in 90 days. And she was having whelps multiple times a week for multiple days. They're like, oh my God, this has been so great. She goes, I want to bring chicken back in. Bring chicken back in. Have chicken 1 day. Do not eat anything else different or new for 4 days because immediate and delayed sensitivity. 2 days after she ate chicken, freaking whelps, eyes, face, hands, all over the place again. I'm like, well, chicken is not your friend still right now. She goes, well, can I try beef? I said, absolutely not yet. I want you to wait until all of the whelps are gone and you're back to baseline for at least 5 to 7 days. Because if you have a low level sensitivity going on still and you eat beef and it reacts, is that still from the chicken or is it the beef? So right now, she's on holding pattern. I saw the other day, everything was gone except for like one little bitty one on her hand. I said, she goes, can I have beef? I said, nope, you still have that one on your hand. So I said, like I said, 5 to 7 days of nothing. Try B. She'll circle back. She'll let me know what's up. So twos, threes, and fours, we want to have out of you for 60, 90 days. So your fours we talked about, your threes, this is whey, corn, and Brazil nuts. Now, this is great and not great because remember I told you I wanted you avoiding gluten, corn, soy, dairy, wheat because the potential of the Hashimoto's piece. Easy. Your corn's a 3 plus, it should be out of you anyways. Next is your 2 plus. This is casein. This is it's part of a milk product. This is millet, which is a grain. I don't know what millet's in. And this is whole wheat. And so we want to make sure that we are trying for the best of our ability to avoid twos, threes, and fours. Any questions on that page? Yep. Yep. So I'm going to share, let me pull up a text. I want to read you the exact text um, from one of my patients. So he did this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. He's a stubborn dude, like crazy stubborn dude. And I'm like, all right, bro, you don't have to do this. And he's like, so he did it finally. And he came in and he had a bunch of hots. And I said, all twos, threes, and fours. He had a bunch of ones too. I said, all twos, threes, and fours. After you figure out what to eat, I do want you to work on the ones as well. He said, all right, cool. So he sent me this. We had our visit, I believe it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday. He goes, well, since we had our appointment this week, I've been eating zero fours, threes, and twos. I've probably lost 5 or 6 pounds and feel drastically better. And we aren't even a week into it. Still eating a lot of the ones, but man, what a difference already. My waist has already shrunk. I guess I was just constantly bloated. Because remember, this is your inflammation marker. Anything below this, you have no inflammation. Let me get up here, sorry. Anything below this, you have no inflammation. Anything above this, you're inflamed. Well, if you're constantly eating twos, threes, and fours, you may be doing this, but you're always staying in this pro-inflammatory state and you don't even realize it because you're never not coming inflamed, if that makes sense. So we weren't even a week in, and he was already seeing the difference with the inflammation piece. So, and again, and I see it all the time. I had one guy over Thanksgiving, he actually went to Vegas, and they did this big, like 8, 10 course spread. And this was like the second or third time in a row that he was eating, I'll say shrimp, I don't remember what it was. And he like violently nauseous for like 2 days. And he came back, he calls one of my friends, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, let's do my food sensitivity test. So we did it. I got the results back like Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving, and I wasn't able to talk to him, so I just sent it to him like I did you. I go, hey man, you have a lot of hots. I said, I want you to already start working on the twos, the threes, and the fours. We'll visit about this, we'll talk about this, but work on the twos, threes, and fours already. So he got it. He started on Saturday working on it. He comes in weekly for his injection to the clinic. He came in Tuesday. So he'd only been on it Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So 3 days only. He came in, he goes, dude, he goes, I can already tell I'm having less inflammation. He goes, my breathing is less labored. I'm breathing easier. I know I was having inflammation. So I can't wait to have you avoid these things to see what happens. It's crazy. Okay. So let me go to the next page. So this is now 176 different items. You can see they're categorized. Top the cross row, dairy, egg, grain, fruit. Next is additives, veggies, beans, spices, fish, meat, nuts, extracts, microbes, foul seeds, shellfish. Now, you can see where your big hitters are. Reds are fours, oranges are threes, yellows are twos, and then there's a lighter green. Those are your ones. Now, you have hits, and then you have a bunch of nothings. Probably have the most non-ones that I've ever seen, which is great. Okay, so um, you can see the dairy, casein, whey. You can still have milk. You have goat's milk. You can see the eggs are hot. Grains, millet, sorghum is a 1. Whole wheat, but you can have gluten wheat. You can have wheat gluten. But again, gluten, corn, soy, dairy, wheat, I want out for the 30 days because of the Hashimoto's piece. Then you look at the fruits. The only fruit you have is a 1+ on blueberry. None of the other fruits you're hot on. Okay. Next row is your additives. 0 additives. Aspartame, the reds, the yellows, vinegar, things like that. Veggies, nothing except for corn, which again, gluten, corn, soy, dairy, wheat, I want out anyways. Nothing with the beans, nothing with the spices except paprika or black pepper, nothing with the fish, nothing with the meats. Nuts, almond, buckwheat, macadamia is a 4. Next row, no extracts, agave, honey, maple syrup, stevia, spirulina, nothing. Acai, nothing. Microbes, brewer's yeast is a positive. So again, if you're a beer guy, something to really pay attention to. Fowl, turkey is a 1. No seeds. Shellfish, again, like we talked about, lobsters a 4. Scallop shrimps are 1. So any questions on the more detailed 176 page? Yep, chicken's a 1. Yellow's 2. But it's close. But it's close to 2. You can see that. It's probably almost a 2. No, casein isn't. Casein, um, you have to look, but casein is a derivative. But again, cow's milk is fine. You just want to look at more European cheeses because European cheeses are processed differently. I would stay more with European cheese if you're a cheese guy. But again, as we're also, again, watching protein, carbs, fats, you have to watch the fats in the cheese. Okay? Mhm. Um, I mean, you have availability. You have availability of beans, and again, that could be a potential protein source, but you have to watch the carb piece still, though. So rice is fine. Rice is fine. But again, 50 to 100 total carbs. 'Cause remember, we're looking at 2 different things here. And then the last page, this is your gut test. And again, I never ran this test before up until about, I don't know, a year and a half ago or so. This was a totally separate test where you had to pay it. You had to pay for it. It was like $199. And I never really truly saw the value of it. I don't think they were getting enough people ordering it. So instead of this test that they produced, that was just probably sitting on a shelf, they decided to combine it with the 176. Now that I see it when I do it with the 176, I probably should have been ordering it the whole freaking time because everybody except like 1 or 2 people have had something on this gut test that I needed to be addressing. And I never did because I didn't know. Okay. Again, what you know, you don't know. What you don't know, you don't know. And so I don't know because I didn't test. So for here, we're looking at 4 things. We're looking at candida. This is yeast. We're looking at zonulin or gluten. This is gut lining. And we're looking at LPS, which is gram-negative bacteria. So let me start with the easy ones first. Your LPS, occludin, and zonulin, the gram-negative bacteria, and your gut lining are all negative and look fantastic. But you do have a little bit of yeast in your gut. And so I'm going to put you on a protocol. It's something called Truflora and Theralac, 2 different supplements. And you're going to take one of them for 5 days. Then you're going to take a 2-day break. You're going to take the other one for 5 days. You're going to take a 2-day break. You're going to go back to number one for 5 days, 2-day break, and you're going to do this over the process of 2 bottles of each of them. I'm going to send you a link on Full Scripts to purchase them. Um, and you also want to make sure that we're watching our carbs a little bit tighter because the yeast piece, yeast feed on carbs, which again could be a piece of your inflammation that you're seeing. And so we want to make sure we're trying to keep our total carbs um, less than 80 um, throughout. Okay, makes sense? Okay. You're still in my ear. You're going to see me not on camera. So while we've been talking, I've been filling up my pool. Just getting a little bit of water. It hasn't rained too much here, and I'm starting to get. I'm to the point where I'm full. So let me walk out here and to my pool. Um, what did you think of the gut sensitivity test or the KBMO test overall? The results. Yes, and that's why I'm giving you the probiotic. So this is a specific probiotic that the experts at KBMO, it's a protocol that they use, Truflora and Theralac. It's a specific protocol that they recommend when you're positive for the candida. That's why I'm using that one. I know I know lactobacillus. It's one of the again, it's one of the big GI growth ones. But remember, it's not all about just lactobacillus. You have to have the differentiation. You have the range of the bacteria in there. So it's not just all lactobacillus. There's a number of them that need to be in your system. I don't know that I've seen him. I may have, but I don't. Name doesn't ring a bell. Okay, nice. So my suspicion would be he has less inflammation with this. Again, again, don't know enough about it to be, but this is just the benefits of why we're working on this. So remember, 70% of our GI system is in our gut. 70% of our serotonin production is in our gut. That's why it's called the second brain. Um, my suspicion, you're having less inflammation. Now, again, I don't know all the parameters of this study of him putting on 6 pounds. Did he change his diet at all? Did he decrease his carb intake? Did he do anything different? Or did he just add this and no other factors were changed? If 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 that's true, and the only thing different was this, my again, just knowledge, less inflammation, better potential absorption of nutrients, protein, etc., minerals, um, maybe better sleep quality um, from less inflammation, so his body functions better. That would be my, again, not knowing anything else, that'd be kind of what I would think. That's huge. Well, and again, what truly was it truly the same? I mean, those are always, again, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's lying, but it's interesting, but again, that would be something. Is it reproducible? So I will send you a link. Probably, this evening. Mindy just got home from her massage. I think we're going to grab a bite. Um, then I'll do all your plan of care. After I write your plan of care up, next steps is I will send you a copy of it tonight, tomorrow morning. That way you can start digesting it, looking at it. On Monday, I will let Kristen know, hey, she's my office manager. She works remote. I'll let her know, hey, I visited with James over the weekend. He's going to start in clomiphene, anastrozole. He needs consent. She'll email you consent via DocuSign. You'll sign my DocuSign consent. You will not have the program cost that's on there. You'll see the monthly program cost, et cetera, et cetera. Your cost is just going to be our hard medicine cost of clomiphene and shipping, anastrozole and shipping, which they come from the same place. So it'll be clomiphene, anastrozole, and shipping. That's all you'll be charged. Supplements, you can jump into the store. I'll tell Tim that we visited. He has access to your chart. I'll have him go in, look at your chart. He can create a code for you that gives you supplements at our cost, which we pay 35%. We pay 65% of cost, or our discount's 35%. That's what I pay for supplements. So we can give you a 35% code. You can jump in there. You can order whatever, delivered right to your house. Once you start everything, 4 weeks after you start everything, I'll want to do that repeat set of labs. Again, 5 numbers. You can do it the same way. You can just call, hey, I'm about ready for labs. You can prepay. We'll send you the prepaid lab slip. Get your labs drawn. My time is always free to you. When we do our lab reviews, you'll never have to pay for my time. Yep. But again, you have your data. Again, the other piece of this that a lot of my patients don't have, or I don't have access to, is your aura, your whoop. I know you're a whoop guy. Um, your aura, your whoop, your biometric piece, that you look at and track. Do those change? Does your HRV change? Does your sleep quality change? Does your snoring change? Does your saturations change? Does this change? That change? You know, you'll be kind of subject zero, for that piece of it, adding in those pieces. Like I told you, I just bought a Whoop and an Aura at Christmas just because, again, I've never worn those. I have my Apple Watch, but that's bullshit. That doesn't really tell you anything. Um, and so I'm wearing them trying to figure out what I like. Um, I don't know what I like yet. Again, I'm a month and a half in. I don't know what I like yet. I kind of am leaning, and I know, also part of this is as we figure out something we like, and I know Mark, he is in bed with a lot of outside medical device type people. He had told me as well. Is there something in the pipeline that's coming that's better than either?